Our first guest is a New York Times best-selling author whose latest book is another unflinching memoir, facing down stage 4 lung cancer while finding humor and meaning in unexpected places. We welcome back to AM Northwest the author of The End of My Life is Killing Me, The Unexpected Joys of a Cancer Slacker, Annabelle Gurwitch. Good to have you with us.
I'm so happy to be here.
This book is filled with joy and laughter. Even though we're dealing with stage 4 cancer, you're dealing with stage 4 cancer.
I am. And you know, as you said, I've countered this cancer with joy and with humor, but I've been able to do that because of the advances in science.
Right.
It's really so extraordinary. And, you know, part of my message of this book is that when people look at me, there's a cognitive dissonance between
You look great.
Right. Yeah. And in fact, I looked and felt that way when I was diagnosed.
Right.
I was completely
You've got to
asymptomatic.
tell me your diagnosis story. What happened? It was during COVID.
It was during COVID.
Early days.
Right, and my son had just graduated college, and we went to get COVID tests because we were combining our households. You know, we took those precautions really seriously.
Right.
And we go to get these tests at this little urgent care, and I get talked into having an x-ray because I said I had a little cough. Now, I want to be clear, I was hiking miles a day every day, really feeling great, in good shape. I didn't know that this could mean anything big, but the doctor was really cute.
And he was adorable.
I thought
you called him Dr. McDreamy.
Dr. McDreamy.
Yeah.
I thought he might have a thing for older women. So it was purely.
Go ahead, take a scan.
This is exactly that. And you know, this ends up telling me that I have a mass on one of my lungs.
Wow.
It was so shocking because I assumed I was in great health. And I've been someone who had, you know, regularly gone to doctors and all those things. So it was really a shock, and it really opened my mind to, you know, a very dangerous idea that people are embracing right now, that because you can work out and feel great and look great, not to be paranoid, but it doesn't necessarily tell us the state of our health.
Science is important.
Science and medicine, and I have been shown so much compassion and the benefit of science, and that's why in these past 5 years, because of these what people call miracle drugs, which keeps the cancer stable, it isn't a cure, I've been able to really think about how I wanted to live. And, and I hate that phrase, cancer can be a teacher, but I have learned a lot.
But you didn't want to be one of those that goes around and is all happy and, you know, chicken soup about it. You know, you wanted to be a cancer slacker. You said you weren't going to be that. You didn't want to do a TED talk about how I survived cancer.
Well, you know, come to think of it, you know, maybe I will. But, you know,
at that time,
the thing is, and I write this as it's a joke, but I'm also serious about this idea of you know, waging resistance against the label of cancer warrior.
Right.
And the reason I do that is because there's a kind of performative wellness that you can feel as someone going through a treatment where you feel like you have to act like you're so strong and brave, and I'm a big baby.
Yeah.
I don't like pain and suffering, and so I came up with this phrase, cancer slacker, because I thought, you know, we want to feel like it's okay to be human, and I want to give people permission to be able to say, you know, this is hard. And so that was the idea behind that. But, you know, what's been so interesting is that this time that's been afforded to me has been a way of looking at life in a completely different way than I had expected. I mean, I think it's hard to resist the idea of, like, you get bad news, you realize that your time is limited, and you want to do a bucket list, and you know, we like to celebrate graduations, anniversaries, these big occasions, but this has really been a call to action to me, to find smaller everyday joys.
Yeah. Your son Ezra, wasn't he with you when you found out too? Yeah, that must have been so hard.
It was like we were in the zombie apocalypse movie. We were actually, the news came, my car had broken down at the side of a highway, and AAA wasn't coming. It was during COVID, and Dr. McDreamy called on the speakerphone, and I'm with my kid, and that's just a terrible way
It's a
news.
lot.
It was
A lot of your friends, though, and the people that adore you came to you. They wanted to help.
Yes.
Your sister moved herself into your house.
She did.
And she worked her job, via Zoom.
She did. She worked remotely.
Yeah.
It was really quite extraordinary.
And you found yourself sometimes getting angry at her.
Yes. You know, one of the things that I write about, and it's not a self-help book. I like books where I learn things through stories.
Right.
So really telling you strategies for living. Some of them were failures. I just want to mention, I also write about things that didn't work out, like when I tried ketamine and I hallucinated that I was in the movie Dune, but not the good one. I was in the terrible one that no one liked.
Yeah.
But my sister came out, and you know, one of the things I've learned is that when you're in a long-term challenge, whether it's your health, whether it's mental health challenges, whether it's financial challenges, and you've got this support network, there's tensions that can arise.
Well, they want to help you, but sometimes they don't say the right thing.
So we have adopted something I write about in the book, the 3H strategy. So when I come to her, or when she comes to me with whatever's going on in her day, we now ask each other, do you want to be helped, heard, or hugged?
Right.
And it's so simple. But the funny thing is sometimes you just want to vent.
Yeah.
Right? And if the person who's supporting you wants to give you advice, it makes you really angry.
Yeah.
And you just so now
they want you to be happy. Be happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so this creates a tension, and because I'm in this very long-term treatment, I mean, the expectation is I will have this for the rest of my life, because a cure does not exist yet, although science is moving very quickly.
Right.
And so, you know, we'll just laugh, because sometimes, you know, the answer is just hugged.
Yeah, hug.
And even through the phone, you can hug someone.
I want to make sure I get the story about how you got in a van and you were following a band, right? And you sold merch. So you got to tell this story.
Well, one of the things that I've done to sort of reignite my joy, and also to find a way to live with curiosity, because it's very easy to shut down when you're in this very difficult situation, was I decided that everything I thought was a terrible idea, I would just say yes to. Some of these things did not work out. I'm not saying I recommend this, but this is how you end up at 60. Getting into a van on a low-rent tour of Europe with a heavy metal band because you're sleeping with the manager, and selling merch across Europe.
Right.
I mean, when I had just started seeing someone, and let me just say, the idea of getting into a relationship was terrifying to me, so I decided I would be in it just for the sex. At 60. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I was just like, I'll just change my frame of reference. I'll just do all the things I think seem like a bad idea. So I re-met someone in my life who was actually so sweet and has a sense of humor about my talking about this, who manages bands. So he had this band that was going to go on a low rent tour to save them money. He's going to drive the van. He said, you can come if you'll sell merch. Now, in my mind, this sounds like a terrible idea, but I also thought, oh, this is like my bucket list trip to Europe.
Right.
I didn't know I would be staying in like tents, in like the hotels where terrorists hide out. I mean, it was just, you know, so crazy. And one of my superpowers now is that I can fall asleep anywhere. So I would be sleeping, sitting in the van, squashed between band members. But this whole trip was the most hilarious thing of ending up selling merch, being in this muddy music festival, and ends up, I love heavy metal. Like, I didn't know anything about heavy metal.
That's funny.
And it just changed my life so much. And it just taught me, you know, you think you know what's going to be good for you. But actually, what was so great was they ignored me the whole time. I found that their indifference was the greatest gift I could get.
I love it. You are at Livewire tonight, which is at the Alberta Street Theater, Alberta Rose Theater at 7:30 tonight. Livewire event. We love Livewire. You're going to have so much fun.
I love Luke Burbank.
He's great.
So much fun.
Great. And the book again is called "The End of My Life Is Killing Me." Thank you so much.
Oh,
appreciate it,
thank you for
Annabelle.
having me.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away. We could.